Hi, this is Brett Bueter, and I want to go over InboundWriter. Specifically, I want to take a look at the InboundWriter plugin for WordPress, the InboundWriter service, and I want to focus on how InboundWriter can help you optimize an article such that it can perform better for Google AdSense ads. Now, this video isn't going to be for everyone. Google AdSense ads are typically only a portion of most websites' revenue strategies. But I've covered InboundWriter from a number of other angles, and I wanted to take a closer look at this. As we take a look at it, I have a draft article started. This is definitely not a polished article, but I've been writing on it a little bit. I want to come in and kick things off with InboundWriter a little bit. We'll get some analysis by hitting the research button and waiting for InboundWriter to do its thing and analyze what I've written so far. This might take just a couple of minutes, and while that's running, I'm going to flip over into the InboundWriter service. This is the actual InboundWriter interface if you log into the InboundWriter.com site. And in this case, I've actually copied the same article. I wrote it over here initially, and I want to point this out because it's a little easier to understand how the advertising strategy comes into play with InboundWriter when you look at it over here first. The interface on WordPress is a little bit more bare bones. They're still building out the plugin. So it's a little easier to understand what's going on and how this can help you when you come over here. So over here we have an article. This article is about Gravity Forms versus SurveyMonkey and the different situations that you might use each of these tools. It is a draft article, not quite done yet. But as InboundWriter's looked at it, it's come in and scored it. It's given it a score on a scale of 0 to 100. You can think of it as like a percentage scale. And it's found that the article has a couple focus terms, Gravity Forms and SurveyMonkey. Seems pretty obvious. And as part of its analysis, it's determined that the words Gravity Forms were used 10 times and SurveyMonkey 6. It gives a rating for the potential of those search terms, a star rating. So each of these comes up with about 4.5 stars. That's kind of an idea of how important those keywords, this individual set of keywords and this set of keywords might be from a search perspective. We can also see the research on either of these terms by clicking the little light bulb there and give us some additional information if we want to come up with a couple extra references or something. There's a couple different ways to take a look at how you can target an article, and the one that I want to focus on is the advertising strategy. As we click on this, we can choose to opt for an advertising strategy that doesn't monetize with Google AdSense whatsoever, or we can utilize one that does a little bit or somewhat, and we could opt for one that heavily emphasizes the importance of Google AdSense for an article. And when I'm talking about Google AdSense, I'm talking about the value of the keywords, what prices Google AdSense or Google AdWords is pricing those items out at, which means if an ad gets matched to this article based on the keywords within the article, that might influence how much a publisher will make in AdSense revenue. As I tick through these, I can select a different option, and I want you to focus over here on the right. The relevant terms, their importance is going to shift a bit, and my score is probably going to fluctuate just a little bit as well based on whether I look at this without the value of Google AdSense. So if I were to write this just from the perspective of search alone, it would actually bump up a little bit. I'm going to click that back, and once again, you'll see over here when Google AdSense is a little bit important, something called Bain Capital Ventures is high on the potential relevant terms list. Now, sales support is another one. Smart Survey, Survey Data, Survey Design, those are all up there. But when I click here, they bump down quite a bit. Smart Survey, Survey Data, they drop down to here. Survey Methodology moves up a little bit higher, the how-to aspect of it, which if you think about it, the how-to is typically going to be a little less than the types of products that might be sold from a business-to-business perspective. If I click to very important, again, we see a difference. My score up here drops from 96, 99 or so down to an 85 just by changing the perspective to something that is heavily focused on Google AdSense. So if I were to come in now and start to write things on, let's say, throwing in the keyword smart survey, talking about maybe a smarter way to write a survey or smarter surveys, I might be able to boost that keyword up, and I would be able to change the focus of this article such that it would attract higher paying Google AdSense keywords. Now, when we go back to our WordPress plugin, that's just still over here. We haven't fully configured this particular one, so we're going to add in some of those keywords. If you recall, we had Gravity Forms and SurveyMonkey. To add those items, come over here, Gravity Forms, SurveyMonkey. You'll notice that my score jumps to a 99. Comparatively speaking, that must mean, where were we with a 99? So currently on my own site, I've got it set such that I don't care if it's focused or presenting Google AdSense whatsoever. And the setting in WordPress for this is up here. So as we click that open, we can change whether or not we want to focus on document strategy, reader targeting, or advertising strategy. That's the Google AdSense aspect of this. And again, if I tick these down, we'll see the same exact results. Actually, that might be slightly different. If I go very important, I think I had something slightly different. Got an 85 over here. It could be a slight difference in versions in my article. It is telling me that I could possibly improve my score if I shorten my title. To a certain extent, I'm still working through the title, and I'll probably go through a few iterations. It could be because I had a dash up there, might be doing it making a little bit of impact. And as we come over here, if I make the same change here, that might help as well. So you can see as we toggle through these options, we can change the score. This isn't something that we're doing to manipulate our score so that we can get a 100. This is something where we're choosing what our strategy is. We're choosing either to optimize the article for AdSense revenue, if that's what you want to do. Click very important, and then start to rewrite the article such that you push the score up. I just happened to write an article that, for my particular strategy, scores well. It took me some effort to edit things to get to that point. It wasn't easy, and I can see too that there is a middle ground. If I wanted to publish this and include Google AdSense ads in it, I'm not too far off base with some things that might work. So there you have it. There's the impact of how you can optimize your articles with InboundWriter such that you'll get a better performance with Google AdSense.